Mr Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister. What is the average download speed for household connections on the Prime Minister's copper NBN?
Prime Minister has the call.
Mr. Speaker, I can tell the honourable member that the vast majority of customers on the NBN, regardless of technology, buy products which are speed tiers of 25 megabits per second or less. And Mr. Speaker, I can say to the honourable member, that the rollout of the NBN, which is going at a pace never seen before in telecommunications history in Australia, is delivering years sooner, 6 to 8 years sooner, and tens of billions of dollars less. We're getting on with an NBN. We are activating more premises in a month than the Labor Party did in 6 years. The Labor Party can't manage an economy, they can't manage a business, and they certainly can't manage the construction of a giant project like the NBN.
The member for McKellar.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question's...
Members on both sides. The member for Greenway.
My question is to the Prime Minister. Last night at Senate estimates, the Prime Minister's department confirmed he has a 100 megabits per second NBN connection at his Point Piper mansion. Why does the Prime Minister get a 100 megabits NBN connection to his Point Piper mansion when 3/4 of premises on his copper NBN can't get that speed? Why is it always one rule for this born-to-rule Prime Minister and another for Australians?
Members on my left, the Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are 1.4 million premises in Australia which are able to get an NBN service on the hybrid fibre coax network built by Telstra and taken over by the NBN. 411,000 of them are active.
The member for Kingston is warned.
Thank you. And I just remind honourable members opposite, for example, the Leader of the Opposition in Avondale Heights, in his electorate, there are more than 2,000 premises connected to the NBN on the HFC. In the electorate of Watson, there's 2,000 premises electorate, and in the electorate of McMahon, there's 4,000 connected. All of those premises connected to HFC are able to get a 100 megabit per second product from the NBN, and in fact, if they were on the Telstra network, they should have been able to get a 100 megabit per second product before the NBN took over the network. The reality is, Mr. Speaker, that 7.2 million homes and businesses are in areas where the NBN's been switched on. There are over 3.5 million premises currently connected. By 2020, Australia will be the first country of our size to make broadband access universal. Now, as I said in my earlier answer, Mr. Speaker, we are connecting more premises a month than Labor did in 6 years. In fact, there were over 59,000 new active services in the past fortnight alone, compared to 51,000 in total under Labor. Now, we know what the Leader of the Opposition is trying to do. He's trying to run his politics of envy, his sort of faux class war. Of course, anyone that wants to know what a fake he is as a class warrior only has to watch the video of his address to the CFMEU workers at Oakey, Mr. Speaker. There he is, Mr. Speaker, the great imposter, complaining about an industrial relations system that he created, and doing everything he can to encourage the militancy of people that threaten violence, not just against other workers, but against their children. He has no shame, no principle, no character.
Just before I